What is up, YouTube? It is Drex and I am back with another video. As promised, I said I was going to talk about some good Saturn games to check out for the console. And most of them are Japanese imports. I do have some North American imports. Like I said, only on 2 games, but I'm going to show them anyway because they're my favorites. But before I get started, like I said before, if you're going to be playing Japanese imports, if you're going to go in the direction of saving money and buying Japanese imported Saturn games, make sure you get your hands on Action Replay Cartridge. It is mandatory that you do so. By doing that, this thing comes in handy for a lot of games. I'll also say this as well. Some Saturn games, especially North American games, if you're just on the verge of just collecting North American games only, you will need this cartridge because it is one of those 40 megabyte cartridges that you need for some games, because I know that's what some North American games as well as Japanese games required back in the day. So it's good to get your hands on that anyway. But nevertheless, like I said, get this in order to play imports, you know, normal North American games. And also as well, if you're going to be playing backed up games on this as well, you will have to install software. I'm actually going to link a video in the description or to instruct you on doing so. It works a lot better on the Model 2 Saturn console, but it's a lot more difficult on the Model 1 console, but nevertheless, you can get it done. I personally got it done before, but I'm going to go ahead and get started now because I talked so much about this Action Replay cartridge. But I'm going to start with this stack. 1 second. Here we go. Starting off, we got Virtua Fighter Kids. Definitely a good game to check out. Definitely Nights into Dreams. Christmas Nights into Dreams. Martian Successor, Nadesco. I believe I'm saying it right, or Nadisco. I'm pretty sure it's Nadesco. But awesome anime, by the way. Very good anime series. I think this is a Battle Arena Toshinden game. It's just called Toshinden S, or it might be a spin-off, but I definitely think it's a Battle Arena Toshinden game. It might be the first one. It plays like a lot like the first one. It just might be different because it's in Japanese. We got Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is like a sim RPG kind of game, but it's definitely worth a check out. I kind of like it. Sometimes I get lost into playing simulators sometimes, but pretty awesome game. But nevertheless, it's kind of hard to go by playing it because the language is in kanji and Romaji. I hope I'm saying those right. Please don't grill me in the comments because of over Japanese language. It's just hard to read in general. I'm just trying to keep it as real as I can. Next stack. This is kind of a cool racing game. It's called Wangan Dead Heat. But it's kind of like a simulator too. Like if I showed you the back of it, it kind of looks weird. But like you play as the 5 drivers at the bottom, the women drivers. Well, cool racing game. King of Boxing. Kind of a funny game to play, but it's kind of cool. Good time waster. Definitely worth a check out. Virtua Fighter 2. This is definitely mandatory for the Saturn collection if you're gonna get it. Please check it out. If you're not into fighters, that's cool. You don't have to get it. But one thing I will say about the Saturn before I continue, they have a lot, especially in Japan, they have a crap load of RPGs, simulator games, a lot of sports and horse racing games, and puzzle games as well. Mahjong. I had to get rid of a lot of those as well. And last but not least, they had a lot of fighters and RPGs. So. Moving forward. Shining Wisdom. I think this might be a spin-off of the Shining Force games that were on the Sega consoles in the past. Big fan of the Shining Force series. I tried to I think I beat them all up to the 5th one and I stopped playing. But I gotta beat this one. Thing that sucks about the Saturn though, I hate to bitch and rant, but so if you have save data on it, after a year, if you don't go back to that, it's gonna delete it right away. I think there's a way you can kind of override that, but it's happened to me before, and I was pissed, man. So I didn't want to like, well, let me not get off on that, but I'm just giving people a heads up now. If you are adamant, you know, make sure you find a way to, you know, get that overridden, or, you know, try and complete the game, you know, because the Saturn will overclock that shit, which sucks. Mobile Suit Gundam, OG Gundam. This is like a tactical RPG. It's a lot different than Zeta Gundam, but it's kind of interesting to play. It's not my favorite like the Zeta Gundam game is. That Zeta Gundam is kind of like a rail shooter compared to this one. Cause Zeta, and it's weird because like Zeta Gundam is like one of my favorite Mobile Suit Gundam series in the UC timeline that Tomino worked on. But yeah, I'm gonna show that one in this collection obviously too. But moving forward, on to the next stack. One second. Sorry, my room is a mess, by the way, in the back. I actually had to pull a lot of these games out of my shelf. So I'm kind of recording this last minute because I'm watching my son right now and he's asleep. So I'm on borrowed time making this video. But next up, Lunar Star Story. Awesome game. I played this game like 2-3 times, beat it like 2-3 times, but I love it. I actually had the Game Boy Advance port of this game, and I think this one is a lot more expensive. I had a duplicate, and I hate I did because I kind of probably should have given it away to somebody who really is like into RPGs. But I ended up donating the stack of duplicates and games I knew I wasn't going to play for Saturn to Goodwill, you know, to make sure someone else. Maybe I was thinking that someone else could have got, you know, had a better opportunity of getting that, but. Yeah, the Japanese port is very affordable. I think the Game Boy Advance port of this game is a lot more expensive, but I'm not sure. Oh man, it makes me kind of sad showing these games I'm about to show right now because I haven't played any of the newer ones of the reboots that came out, but Sakura Wars 1 and 2. I love these games. It's like really the vibe I get from playing the Sakura Wars games, even though it's like an RPG, it has a lot of RPG elements. It's like reading an interactive story too at the same time. It's not so much like a simulator, but it's just like not reading a novel. And this one right here, Hanagumi Sushin. This is I believe it's a spin-off of the first. I think it has to be a spin-off of the first game, yeah, because it came out the same year, 1996, when the very first Sakura Wars came out. But yeah, love the Sakura Wars games. I hate I'm missing out on them right now, but we all know it. Check out my video I did in the past on why I'm burned out on RPG games. But yeah, love the Sakura Wars series a lot. This is definitely a must-have for the collection, whether you get the North American port or not. Guardian Heroes. Oh my god, I can still play this game. Two-player as well. Like I know all the combos for each and every character. Like there's actually a printout on Google Images that will teach you all the combos. But I love the hell out of this game. This is a mandatory game to get for your collection. You know, if you just want to get a Saturn and you just want to own a few games, please get your hands on Guardian Heroes. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Zap Snowboarding Tricks. Cool game, but I think, you know, I'll probably say the 1080 snowboard games are a lot better. Like those more. I think I said that name right, 1080. I'm not sure, but that and Snowboard Kids is good. But you know, that's a good time waster to play. Pretty good game. Vampire Hunter. So if any of my, you know, people who are retro gamers are into retro fighters and stuff, definitely get your hands on Vampire Hunter. You know, this is basically Darkstalkers too, but you know, pretty cool. Like I said, the Saturn had arcade perfection, so it plays just like the arcade port. Music is everything is all over it. It's sunk all the way over. Next up, the OG Dead or Alive. So you, like I said, Unit Fighters. Get your hands on the OG one. Riglord Saga 2. Very interesting RPG. I didn't really get too far in it, but pretty fun to play. It's crazy, this game actually came out in 1995, but pretty cool. Interesting RPG. Action. I like action RPG actually. So this is a must-have for your Saturn collection as well. I'm not saying it's rare, I'm not calling it gem, but it's definitely up there. Burning Rangers. I was about to call it Burning Hero. What the hell? Where the hell am I going? But yeah, Burning Hero Rangers, definitely get it for your collection. You can also, like I said as well, if you want to get the North American port of the game, go ahead and do so. But if you want to hold back, you know, and just hold on to your money and save some money, they both play the same. One is in Japanese, just the language is in Japanese for one, and the other one is just in English. Makes no difference. I personally like the Japanese port a bit more, but that's me. I think that came along with age for me, because I'm watching a lot more anime now in Japanese than dubs. I can sometimes tolerate dubs, but you know, I can sometimes, well, actually, I wouldn't say tolerate. I still watch dubs, don't get me wrong, but you know, now that I'm older, I'm liking it subbed a lot more. So I'm gonna put these two together. I'm not gonna mention one of the games of the series, I'll mention in a minute, but Panzer Dragoon 1 or 2, I wouldn't say it's mandatory to put these in the collection, but even though I'm a big fan of the series, the only reason I'm saying is that these are rail shooters. So I mean, they're good, they're great games to play, but I'm telling you now, you will get frustrated after a while beating them. First one you can get through, I beat it, but I know I cursed up a big storm with the second one. But nevertheless, they're great games to play. I don't have Panzer Dragoon Saga, and I nor do North American port, and I don't think I ever have that because of how much it's worth. It's worth like thousands of dollars at this point, and I see no need in playing it. You can get a backed up copy of the game, but when I played it, I wasn't a big fan of it, and I'm not being disrespectful towards it. I'm just not a big fan of it. Saga like that. But yeah, nevertheless, if you want to get your hands on that, go ahead and do it. Me personally, I just have no need to. I like the rail shooter platform a lot more than the RPG direction they went in with Panzer Dragoon Saga. I guess that was to compete with Final Fantasy VII at the time because they both came out at the same time because the Saturn and PlayStation were in competition with each other. But and also I got this awesome arcade port of X-Men Children of Atom. Cool game. You know, we all know this. Big X-Men fan too, so I don't really play it as much. Honestly, I play it more on my custom arcade compared to my Saturn. But yeah, cool. You know, definitely worth. You know, if you want it, go ahead and get it. So we got Touge, King of the Spirits 2. This is like a racer. To be honest, when I first got this game in the mail from seller in Japan, because I had bought these all in a lot for $1 each, and some of them I also bought individually or I got from conventions. But I thought it was port. I thought it was like Initial D. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that anime, who's subscribed to me. But yeah, I thought these were like Initial D games for a minute, because like the way the art style looks and everything, you would think so. But it would be kind of cool. You would hear the music, and I actually like the Initial D music, even though it's become a meme at this point. But this is another must-have for the collection as well. Even if you're not into racers, this is worth it. You know, please get your hands on Sega Rally Championship. I had like 2 other duplicates of this game as well, and I gave it a Goodwill. But very awesome game. Love it a lot. Awesome music. You will need a cartridge for it because it's going to say in the back a 4 megabyte cartridge. But this is why I say get your hands on one of these. You know, action replay cartridge anyway. Just pay the $40. I saw on Amazon it's only $40. But get your hands on one of these anyway to play it. It's well worth it. You're going to need it anyway, especially if you're in the Japanese port of the game. But yeah. Next up, I haven't really played much of this one. I don't even know the name of it, to be honest. There's no way of me. Usually, like on the... So I'm going to show you something. Usually, like on the Japanese ports of games, like they'll have it right here in the language, in the English language. Like they'll tell you what the game is, and like it's opposite. Oh, it's weird because like when I have them in my shelf, I have it like stacked this way instead of this way. Going forward, I have it stacked like the opposite way. Going in, so I can identify the names of the games a lot better. But I'm not sure what this game is called. But if anyone in the comments can correct me on it, I definitely recommend this game. Pretty fun game. I like it a lot. Interesting. I hate to refer to it so vaguely as that game, but yeah, fun game. I'm trying. So I just showed you guys this game, Night Truth, but a very awesome game. It's like a little simulator. These are the cast you see at the bottom are the people who voice the characters in the game, the anime characters in the game. But it's, you know, yeah, pretty cool game. It's like a ghost story, I like to say, but it's more of a thriller. It's not horror, but it's like a thriller game, and you're solving mysteries in it. So pretty cool. Next up, we got Tenchi Muyo. I don't even know what kind of hell it is. Oh, I don't know how to describe this game. I don't want to call it a simulator. I don't want to call it an RPG, but it's definitely just a fun, enjoyable game to just chill and relax to and enjoy. It's not, like I said, I'm just listing off some of my favorite games to get, you know, I'm just trying to give people an idea of what I think is cool and what's not, but definitely a good time waster to play. Pretty fun, funny, and fun. I like Tenchi Muyo a lot. I grew up with Tenchi Muyo. If you're a 90s kid like me, you obviously caught it on Toonami back in the day. Excuse me. So, as I said before, we got Zeta Gundam. Like, so this is, like I said, it's like a rail shooter. It kind of feels like a bootleg and clunky in a lot of ways because it is an old game, but I like it a lot. It actually follows the anime very well. And I love the hell out of Zeta Gundam so much. Even though it has a high kill count, I think Tomino was like really on some dark shit back in the 80s when he came out with Zeta Gundam. But nevertheless, I still think it's more ranked as one of my top favorite Gundam series in the UC timeline, next to Unicorn and Char's Counterattack, and the Char movies that they came out with. So yeah, definitely check this one out. You won't be disappointed. I wish I had that Super Dimension Fortress Macross game that's based off of the Do You Remember Love movie, because I recommend that one too. They had it on PlayStation 1 as well, overseas in Japan. But speaking of Sega Rally Championship 95, I guess I had another copy, so I'm going to hang on to this anyway. I might do a giveaway video in the future. So if anybody wants to get their hands on it, you know, or I might do draw some name. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But yeah, I might just give it away. In the video, now that I got an extra copy of it. So yeah, pretty cool. This F1 game is pretty badass, and it actually has live commentary, and that's kind of crazy. You know, it's not like repeated commentary neither. It's like it's like constant, you know, dialogue, but pretty cool game. F91. If you, like I said, if you're into racers, definitely check this one out. I never experienced like playing on like that little Mad Cat steering wheel, because I know like the Saturn had a lot of peripherals, especially that steering wheel. But one peripheral I want in general, and it's worth like $700 on eBay. I don't know if I'm gonna throw the money in, but it's like a 2-player arcade stick. I'll have to show you. It looks just like the Astro arcade cabinets that they had in Japan. But like, it's pretty badass. I might get it one day. I don't know if I want to do it yet, but I gotta make sure everything is in order, because I just had to get a fence repaired now recently. And well, not repaired, but I had to get a new fence installed in my backyard. So I don't know what's gonna do for me for money. Dragon Ball Z. So actually, this is called Dragon Ball Z Shibutoden. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. Please correct me in the comments if I'm saying it incorrectly. You can, spell the pronunciation for me, and I'll do better next time. But yeah, definitely get this game. This is definitely a great game for the collection if you're in the fighters. I'll actually say I understand why Fighter Z plays like it does. It doesn't play like the Budokai games, because when I played a lot of Japanese ported Dragon Ball Z games in the past. It borrows the same fighting engine that is in Fighter Z that's very popular now. So I adapted to it right away, because I played a lot of Fighter Z on my PlayStation 4. But yeah, definitely a good game to check out. Awesome game. So yeah, we keep it moving. I'm gonna put these two together. Oh, I guess I don't have the second one yet, but when I get the second one, I'll put them together. Another must-have for your collection too is Virtual On. I'll definitely get the Japanese port. I don't know how much the North American port goes for, but if it's affordable, go ahead and get that one too. I don't have the peripheral controller for that, unfortunately, but they say the experience gets a lot better, because like this is like a mecha fighter, but it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like a fighting platform, but it's like a fighter. But yeah, very cool game. You fighting a lot of robots and stuff. Like I said, if you're into mecha and stuff like Gundam, Macross, Full Metal Panic and all that other stuff, check it out. If you want to go ahead and get your hands on the controller, I think it's a lot more expensive. Go ahead and do it, but I don't think it's really necessary to get it. Oh damn, that stack just fell. Well, I'm gonna keep it going anyway. Another one to definitely get your hands on. Oh, I don't want to say if it's mandatory or I highly recommend it, but me personally, this is for me. I recommend it, but only if you can get your hands on the peripheral. It's a light gun. I got my hands on 2 light guns. I think I had to pay $40 each for them to play this game. But House of the Dead. I actually got this one from a convention, but if you have a tube here's my suggestion to you. If you have a tube television, go ahead and get this and go ahead and buy the light gun. But if not, don't worry about it. It's not too mandatory for the collection, but I like it personally because I like the arcade ported Sega games the most. Well, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think you can also get it. Well, you're gonna be able. Actually, I just want to say something real quick too. You can actually just get this off of the fucking Switch because it's going to be available on Switch soon anyway. And I think you can also get the Wii port of it because I actually got House of the Dead 2 and 3 together on the fucking Wii. So, so you don't have to get a tube television for that. I'm just trying to save people money. But yeah, this is just me. I just like it for the collection. Okay, I don't want to put that one up yet because I don't have the other game. Well, I'm going to keep it going. Blazing Tornado. It's like a wrestling game, a helicopter view, 2D, pretty fun game. But it's a very enjoyable to play. But Saturday Night Slam Masters is still a superior game over this, but it's still fun to play. Sega really was trying with wrestling games, damn wrestling games in the past. They didn't have too much licensing to do other games other than the All Japan Pro Wrestling game that I'm about to show in a minute. It's a part of the stack somewhere. But next up, Fighting Vipers. Even if you're not into fighters, come on. I strongly recommend Virtual Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers. These are like the best fighting games ever. And Sega was so innovative with this. Like when you fighting other computers and like your friend or whatnot in this game, like when you are beating them up, like they're depending on how much damage you've caused, like to your opponent, like their armor falls off and everything. And I think it's kind of funny too because I think the Japanese port is a lot better because I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Pepsi Man in Japan, but he was like the sponsor. No, he was like the mascot for Pepsi, like back in the late '90s, early 2000s. And actually, what's weird about it is that George Lucas's company, Lucasfilm, was doing those commercials back in the day, and all those commercials were filmed in North America, but they were exclusively done in Japan. And a lot of memorabilia, even including that Pepsi Man game on PlayStation 1, is like crazy expensive. But I forget, all you have to do is lose the first match, and you literally unlock, if you're going through a campaign, you literally unlock Pepsi Man right away, and they play his music. But yeah, check that out if you can. That Pepsi Man game is expensive, but I actually got it on my arcade, and me and my son were playing, and he just laughed and smiled at the screen. But very funny game. So I'm gonna finally show these two because I found the sequel is now in the storage. But yeah, here we go. Virtual Cop 1 and 2. These are one of my favorites. You can actually, if you got a PlayStation 2 and you got light guns, I think they were ported on PlayStation 2 back in the day. But yeah, awesome games to play. For me personally, they needed to be in my collection. But like I said, if you're not into light gun shooters and whatnot, you don't have to worry about it. But definitely worth mentioning. So, Riglork Saga 2. I already mentioned Riglork Saga 1 already, but yeah, I like this a lot. The more I played through this game, the more it reminded me a lot of Quest 64. That was on Nintendo 64, and I did not really like that game like that, but like the graphics remind me a lot of Quest 64, but the game itself plays a lot better than Quest 64. I know some people like Quest 64, but I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I just personally didn't like it. So, we almost done. I'm just going through the last of it. I got the Japanese version of D. So, this, if anybody's familiar with the D series, this was, they had it available on PlayStation and Saturn, just like Resident Evil 1 and 2. But very fun game to play, survival horror. I like it a lot. So yeah, worth mentioning if you in survival horrors. Another great game to check out as well. I don't have it, but it's called Deep Fear. So yeah, definitely check that out too. But that's like a good survival horror as well. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil overshadowed the hell out of it, but it's a very good survival horror game to play. It's actually a Sega exclusive. I'm shocked no one else has gotten their hands on it. So, King of Spirits, the very first one. Like I said, good racing game. Next up, SimCity 2000. Good simulator. I actually used to play the hell out of SimCity on the Super Nintendo. Very fun game. Next up, I can't read the title of it, but I know it's an All Japan Pro Wrestling game because a lot of wrestlers from All Japan Pro Wrestling, especially the legends in this game, are on here. Especially, they also got wrestlers too that was from New Japan Pro Wrestling in this. So like you got guys like Giant Baba, Stan Hansen. I think Bruiser Brody was in this. I think you have to unlock Bruiser Brody. But yeah, pretty cool game. I know they got Dr. Death, Steve Williams in this as well. Man, it's crazy. A lot of those guys are gone except for Stan Hansen. But you know, a lot of wrestling legends in this. Good shit to check out. I don't know if the Great Muta is in this. I gotta replay it again. But I mostly use Stan Hansen in this. So that's just my thing. Stan Hansen was one of my favorite All Japan Pro wrestlers. Yeah. And we got Blue Seed, based off that 90s anime series. So a lot of puzzles in this. It's a good RPG. Kind of got some simulation elements in it. It's definitely a good game to check out. I didn't really, it's like I said, it takes a different story compared to the anime. But like I said, I enjoy both. I like the anime, prefer the anime over this though. Last but not least, I'm going to show my last two games of my North American games. Sonic 3D Blast. I think this is a damn good game to have in your collection. You will probably be paying a little more on it, but if you can, like I said, just get you a backed up copy. You'll be saving less. That's actually what I do. I don't really play the actual copy of this game. Go and do work. I just like playing backed up copies of my North American games, because I know these games are worth a lot. But sometimes I do, I'll just, like, if I get lazy, go through my CD collection, I'll just load them in. But yeah, definitely get Sonic 3D Blast. It's kind of a black sheep of the family, but I like it a lot. The soundtrack is dope, and I really put the music in a lot of some of my videos. If I integrate music in my videos when I upload them, I like putting the Sonic 3D Blast music in it. So yeah, love it a lot. It takes a different approach. You're definitely doing a lot of escorts in this and destroying enemies to capture allies and get them to safety and whatnot. But it's pretty enjoyable to me. Helicopter view. Some people don't like it, but I think it's good enough, especially the bonus stages. So check it out. If you don't like it, I understand. Last but not least, we got WrestleMania, the arcade game. I actually like this port a lot better because I actually got this on my Sega Genesis. But the arcade port, it was weird. If you get the arcade port of this game on, let's say if you're playing it on MAME or any other arcade emulator, the volume is very low on it. I don't understand why. But anyway, either way, I think this replicates the hell out of the arcade port. And I love the music and the commentary from Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler in it. I always use Taker. I use the hell out of Taker and Bret Hart in this game. Sometimes Bam Bam Bigelow, but yeah. I never beat the campaign for the WWF Championship belt because it was ridiculous. Like later on, like midway through the game, they just beat the hell out of you, pummel you with like all these enemies. It's worse than if you already got to fight two guys at once. But yeah, the In Your House game is pretty cool too. I just used Ultimate Warrior in that game. But it's kind of weird as hell playing. And I'm not being disrespectful when saying this, but it's weird as hell playing that fucking In Your House game because like half the roster is fucking dead. And I'm not being like funny when saying that. Owen Hart is a playable character. Warrior's a playable character. Davey Boy Smith is a playable character. Who else is Vader is a playable character in that game. And I think it's a total of 6 to 8 characters in it, and that's like crazy. like how, you know, like a quarter, most of that roster is dead already. So it you know, it's it kind of makes me sad when I play that one, but I do recommend checking that one out too if you're into it, or you get the PlayStation port. But yeah, that's kind of a wrap for me. I just wanted to talk about some games that I think are worth checking out. I have some other ones I probably missed, but I'm not going to really mention those. I guess you guys can make your best judgments from there. As I said before, I don't want anybody getting in trouble. I don't want nobody to ruin their life over something. So this is why I'm strongly suggesting, if you want to play strictly backed up games or burnt games, please do not sell them. Please, just use them for yourself. You know, keep them to yourself and enjoy them. And if you just want to emulate, that's cool. You know, just emulate on your PC, enjoy it that way. If you're a completionist and you feel like you have to own these games physically, all of them, including the North American ones, then that's cool too. But I'm just trying to make it easier for a lot of people to enjoy this console without putting so much money into it, because I'm not talking bad about the way that prices have increased on these retro games, but a lot of them is very ridiculous. And I know not everyone can afford that and who are into the hobby. And I mean, I'm one of them. And I'm just trying to just make things, I guess I'm just trying to shed some light and try to make things easier for people. So that's all I just gotta say. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I'm gonna try and keep some more retro stuff going. I try and keep mostly up to date on modern games on my channel as much as I can, but sometimes I like to talk about retro games because I love that stuff too. But other than that, I'm gonna try and stream some Final Fantasy VII remake integrated version later on today. But yeah, other than that, this is Drex. I'm out.